Today is Friday, October 1st. Welcome to this edition of Nevada County Now. Today's episode, we're talking TikTok trend, cannabis equity, flu shots, and more. This episode is brought to you in part by Stifel Financial, and also the generous donations of viewers like you. Thank you. Hello and welcome to Nevada County Now. I'm your host, Cole Pettit. There's been a trend recently on the social media platform TikTok that has been causing issues in schools across the nation. This trend sees students vandalizing school bathrooms, causing some bathrooms to be off limits, and the need for additional supervision for bathroom visits. To find out more about if or how this is affecting us at a local level, we had our intern Ava Rose, a student at Nevada Union, chat with some of her teachers and staff at Nevada Union.
Regarding the school and the TikTok trend of destroying school property, it's not a good idea to destroy things, even if it's a TikTok video.
From my understanding, it is a TikTok challenge where students are challenged to destroy campus, mostly bathrooms, but destroy campus facilities, and I'm very unhappy about it.
Yes, it occurred. I know that there were some days that admin had to, and our custodial staff had to fix at least 5 soap dispensers or paper towel dispensers.
What I feel is most unfair is that our students need to have access to bathrooms. So please don't mess with the bathrooms. Like, everybody needs to go to the bathroom.
Lots of things are getting destroyed in the bathrooms. The soap dispensers, why would you destroy those when people need to wash their hands, especially during this time with COVID?
They are trying to have more kind of eyes on the bathroom. They've asked us, to keep our eyes on it. I'm not quite 100% sure what they've got in place, but I know it has gotten better. I do know that they plan to prosecute those students for extension of law, not go easy on them for this particular activity.
So, yeah, please don't destroy the bathrooms, and just if you do notice something's going south, inform somebody so that we can address the issue. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Ava. At this week's Board of Supervisors meeting, the board heard a presentation and voted on the creation of a local cannabis equity program. This program is planned to be funded by a grant through the state of California, with some additional matching funds from the county, with 10% used for administrative fees, with the rest going to grantees. The main purpose of this program would be to help support longtime local growers who are attempting to come into compliance with current regulations. Let's hear a bit from the presentation for a bit more background. Then we'll hear the supervisor's discussion of this proposal.
So on the left is a site that is clean, safe, using sustainable cultivation practices, and on the right is a result of a continued unpermitted cultivator. On the left is a permitted cultivator's fire-safe driveway accessible to several residents on that road. On the right is a driveway to an unpermitted cultivator's property. And on the left is a permitted and approved well and on-site water storage for a legal cultivator. And on the right is a diverted and dammed waterway for an unpermitted cultivator. And these are really just a small example of the types of differences that we could make by adding additional tools to this program with the assistance of funding for these applicants.
I love this program, the possibility of supporting our local growers who are willing to come into compliance and do everything right. So they're not polluting the waterways, they're not creating a safety hazard in their neighborhoods. And this would just give them a boost.
But I had a recent opportunity to tour a farm and a local operator who's growing, and it was really enlightening to me to see how hard they work, the type of connections they have in the community, and what they're doing to try and support not only themselves, but the rest of the people growing, the people that aren't growing, just the rest of the community, the baseball teams and charitable organizations that we all care about.
The Ridge is in my district, and I see a lot of compassionate people, but then I see a lot of the bad players. So I think what we had to look at for me was to get back to this this program has to work alongside how we beef up enforcement. I'm going to support this program because I think it is the next step, along with the other things that we're doing in the toolbox.
The other thing in the resolution, it says, this experience of the past criminalization of cannabis, this experience in part engendered a widespread and deep-seated multi-generational mistrust of government and regulation. Now it seems like you've placed government as the cause for this, and in this resolution, that just doesn't make any sense. What this program does not do, it doesn't eliminate the negative impacts. It doesn't address the environmental impacts that have occurred, the pollution, the pesticides, the herbicides, the killing of wildlife, the illegal grading. It doesn't address any of those negative impacts, or does it seek to? 1% to 2% compliance or licensing is not something to be proud of. You know, we have less than 200 out of 3,500 growers. That's not something to brag about.
Ultimately, the board voted 4-1 to approve the creation of this program, with Supervisor Dan Miller as the dissenting vote. Last week, we heard from Shavati Karki Pearl, Public Sector Manager for Waste Management, about the history of recycling. This week, she joined us again for part 2 of the history of recycling in the WM Minute.
Thank you, Cole, and welcome to the WM Minute. Today, I'll be continuing our discussion on the history of recycling. In 1995, over 10,000 recycling centers existed in the U.S. At one point, California recycled 80% of its aluminum cans. Another critical point in the history of recycling came in the year 2000, when the EPA confirmed the link between waste and global warming. Over the next decade, laws were passed and innovations that improved the industry emerged. However, in 2018 and 19, China moved to ban 40 categories of recycling imports and mandated a 0.5% contamination standard. With nowhere for the recycling to go and no buyers, the system began to experience seismic shifts. Mass recycling program closures and plant shutdowns were reported. In 2020, even though recycling was deemed an essential service, the sweeping effects of the COVID-19 pandemic have caused havoc to an already ailing industry. There is a pressing need now, more than ever before, to continue recycling waste in order to reduce contamination levels and slow the harmful effects of climate change. In 2021 and beyond, the industry needs municipal leaders to come up with innovative solutions. One way is to improve the rate of technology adoption in the recycling industry. Many experts have weighed in that digital transformation can have a positive future impact. Thanks for listening. Tune in next time when I'll be discussing how long it takes for trash to decompose.
Thanks, Shavati. Taylor Wolfe is on a well-deserved vacation this week, and we hope she's having a great time. Thankfully, we're lucky enough to have Heather Heckler, Administrative Analyst for the County of Nevada, joining us for this week's COVID update, as well as additional news from the county.
Thank you, Cole. For today's Nevada County update, I'll share the latest news on COVID-19, information on our upcoming flu shot clinic, and a reminder to stay ready, Nevada County. Let's jump in. We continue to see our COVID-19 case rates trending down in Nevada County. Last week, the Nevada County Public Health Department reported 193 new lab-confirmed cases, which is the lowest case count we've seen in 8 weeks. While current COVID transmission rates in Nevada County are lower than those we saw in August and early September, they're still relatively high compared to what we've seen throughout the pandemic. The Public Health Department continues to urge residents to protect themselves and the community by masking, distancing, and avoiding crowded settings. If you are experiencing COVID-like symptoms or have had a COVID exposure, please book a COVID test at lhi.care/COVID testing. Late last week, the Western States Scientific Safety Review Work Group reviewed and approved the CDC's recommendations on COVID-19 vaccine boosters. California is now cleared to follow the federal recommendations that certain individuals can receive a booster dose of Pfizer vaccine. The booster dose is intended to provide enhanced protection to people who may be at greater risk of serious illness due to COVID-19. According to the California Department of Public Health, those who should get a booster dose include people aged 65 years and older, long-term care residents, people aged 50 to 64 years old with underlying medical conditions, and those who are at increased risk of social inequalities, including people of color. Others who may consider receiving a booster dose based on their individual benefits and risks include people aged 18 to 49 years old with underlying medical conditions, and people aged 18 to 64 with an increased risk of exposure due to their occupational setting. At this time, booster doses are only available to those who have been fully vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine. Boosters should be administered at least 6 months after an individual has received their last dose of the vaccine. The Pfizer booster cannot be administered to those who have been vaccinated with the Moderna or Johnson & Johnson vaccines. Public health officials are still awaiting information on boosters for these vaccines. Pfizer booster shots are currently available at local and regional pharmacies and through your healthcare provider. For more information, go to mynevadacounty.com/getvaccinated or myturn.ca.gov. If you have questions about eligibility or would like assistance scheduling an appointment, call 211 Connecting Point at 1-833-DIAL-211. Nearly 65% of eligible Nevada County residents are now fully vaccinated, and over 73% of eligible residents have had a first dose. All 3 COVID-19 vaccines are free, safe, and effective at preventing serious illness. Vaccines are widely available for anyone aged 12 and older. Those looking to get their first or second dose can make their appointment or find a nearby walk-in clinic at myturn.ca.gov. To date, 95 Nevada County residents have lost their lives to COVID-19. The Madeline Helling Library is currently hosting the COVID-19 Remembrance Memorial, which remembers those who have lost their lives to COVID. The community is invited to visit the memorial as a place to grieve, write messages, and offer condolences. Flu season is back, and the Public Health Department is hosting a free drive-through shot clinic on Tuesday, October 5th from 12 to 4 p.m. in the parking lot of Twin Cities Church in Grass Valley. The clinic is for adults and children aged 3 and over. This free clinic will offer flu vaccine only. If you plan to attend the drive-through clinic, be sure to wear clothing that allows easy access to your upper arms, and be sure that all vehicle occupants over the age of 2 are wearing a face covering. This is a drive-through event only. No walk-ups will be accepted. The Public Health Department will welcome participants until 4 o'clock or until they run out of vaccine, whichever comes first. For more information, please call 530-265-7049. And although fall has officially arrived and we've had some rain, don't put your go bag away just yet. This dangerous fire season won't be over until we've had a few days of substantial rain. Keep your go bag packed, know your evacuation zone, and have 3 ways out of your neighborhood. And be sure to sign up for Code Red emergency alerts. And don't forget that CAL FIRE still has a region-wide burn ban in effect. That's it for My Nevada County Update this week. Find all this information and more by subscribing to our weekly newsletter at mynevadacounty.com/Nevada County News. And have a great weekend.
Thanks, Heather. The annual RAKE event is taking place tomorrow from 9 a.m. to noon, and there's still time to get signed up. For those unfamiliar, RAKE is an annual community service event where hundreds of people register to join work crews that serve various maintenance needs in our community. Projects include things like roadside trash cleanup, park, school, and trail maintenance, as well as firewood delivery for seniors. The event is planned by A New Day in partnership with Waste Management. Each year they collaborate with city and county officials to create a list of projects needing work in our community, then they send out their army of volunteers to get these things done. Visit anew-day.com to get all the details and register to participate. Nevada County Media's Through the Lens is a script-to-film competition that traditionally has served as one of our main fundraisers each year. It has creators go through the whole process of filmmaking, from initial script writing to the filming and editing of a 10-minute short film. This year we had several entries into the script portion of the competition, but due to the pandemic, only a handful of filmmakers were able to complete their projects. And while we've chosen, due to an abundance of caution, not to hold our traditional red carpet gala, we will still be celebrating these intrepid filmmakers with a watch party which will be streamed simultaneously on cable, nevadacountymedia.org, YouTube, and Facebook. Please join us Tuesday, October 5th at 6 p.m. to help us celebrate these filmmakers and all the hard work they have put in on their projects. And then vote for your favorite one. We'll leave you this evening with a preview of some of these films. And remember, stay safe, take care of each other. We'll see you next week.